How are you doing? My name is Otto, and today I want to talk about camera sliders. Are they any good? Are they going to add any value to your video production? Let's find out. A slider will help you introduce movement to your videos, and I know everyone is thinking about gimbals to get the job done, but there are some movements that you just can't get with a gimbal. There are different types of camera sliders, but basically some of them are manual and others are motorized. With manual sliders, you have to manually push the camera, but it is quite difficult to get consistent results and you need someone to operate the slider. Motorized sliders, on the other hand, are going to be more expensive, but the results are going to be consistent and you can program the movement and speed from point A to point B. For example, setting a slow movement like this would be great for interviews, product videos, or time lapses. This is not the only movement you can do with a slider. You can also do a push in or pull out movement, or even tilt the slider to make shots like this. Vertical shots are also possible, but this will depend on the slider payload and the weight of your camera. I also like the fact that one single slider can be used with all my different cameras. With a gimbal, most of the time you need a specific one for a particular device. But here I can use this, for example, with my Sony camera, the GoPro Hero 10, the DJI Pocket 2, my smartphone, and I can even use the slider in combination with a gimbal. This motorized slider that I have here is the newest version from the brand GVM, and this has become my favorite slider because of the features that it has. The build quality is great and it doesn't feel cheap. It came with 2 NPF batteries, 2 chargers, a ball head, and a bunch of cables to connect the slider to your camera if you're going to be doing time lapses. Instead of a remote control connected to the slider with a cable, the control box is now integrated into the slider, and here is where you will find the main motor, which will move the base plate to the left or to the right. There is also a smartphone app that lets you control the slider. You need to register with an email, which I find to be annoying, but after you do that, the app is very easy to use. One of the features that I like the most, and I really hope that they make more sliders like this, is that there is a second motor on the base plate, which is independent from the main motor. And this one will make the camera pan in any direction without limits. You want to shoot at 360 degrees? Well, you can do it with this slider. The pan axis will also allow you to make parallax videos in a very easy way. And for me, this is the slider movement that I like the most. Something else that I really like about the slider is how silent the motors are. You're not going to hear anything if you set the slider speed is lower than 85%. There's no sound at all. Above that number, you're going to hear a little bit of noise, still not too bad, but the closer you get to 100%, it's going to be louder. Setting up a slider like this one doesn't take a lot of time. You can place it on a tripod, on the floor, or a table, adjust the height and position of the feet if you need to, screw the ball head, insert the 2 batteries, place and secure the camera on the ball head, unlock the slider, turn the unit on, and then with the joystick, move the camera to the starting position, which is point A, and then move it to the ending position, which is point B, press start, and now just sit back and relax with a cup of coffee while the slider is doing all the work. Another advantage compared to a gimbal is that you can make all the changes that you want. For example, you can place empty filters on the lens, or change the lens, or even the camera, and everything will keep working just the same. Where on a gimbal, making any of those changes is going to mess with the balance of the gimbal. Now, I have to admit that a slider is not going to be perfect in every way, and there are a few things that you need to consider if you want to get a slider like this one. This one, for example, is heavy. It's 4.5 kilos with the included ball head and the 2 batteries. and it's quite long at almost 1 meter. So this is not something that I would take on a flight with me. This slider will get you smooth movements, and I tried this with many devices, including the iPhone 13, the GoPro 10, the DJI Pocket 2, and the Sony a7 IV with this big lens over here. But all of them have one thing in common. They all have some kind of stabilization. But when I tried to use a lens that doesn't have optical stabilization, the video came up with micro jitters, as you can see right now. This is something that I was able to fix on post, but I think that I would prefer to only use devices that have some kind of stabilization when I use this slider. If you want to take a look at the slider, I will leave a link on the description below. Please don't forget to give this video a like and say something on the comment section. Stay safe, stay positive, and how about if I see you in the next video? Bye.